Welcome everyone to this edition of Looking at Louisville. I'm Chaz.
Well, hello, loves. I'm Stacy.
And I'm Prince Zach.
Welcome to Monty Python in Louisville. Now, Stacy, what are we doing here? We're at the Fraser Museum on Main Street. What are we going to be doing this
You're
episode?
quite right, quite right.
Well, cheerio. So what exactly are we going to be doing, my madame?
Well, Chaz, we are here back at the Fraser. They've got another blockbuster exhibit, and we just couldn't miss it. It is Princess Diana, A Celebration.
And especially, we know this is popular among women, but Chaz and I are really going to get a feel for it. We'll be able to report back. But I can say that I'm excited to check it out and see that wedding dress, honestly.
So after this exhibit, we're going to grab some tea, correct?
Oh, quite right. Again, Chaz.
Now, where are we going to go?
We are going to go do some tea, but Louisville style. We're going to check out a place called Hillbilly Tea.
Are you ready to go?
Quite right. Shall we?
We shall.
Hey-ho. We've just gone through the Diana exhibit, which will be here through January. Not your typical arms and history, more modern history. Tell us the thought process behind having this exhibit.
Sure, yeah. As you made a really good point. We're doing something that people may not expect us to do, and that was the idea. So Diana, A Celebration is just an extension of that strategy to try to offer more for more people. It's definitely safe to say that Diana is one of those figures who's going to be talked about for decades and generations to come. She is a historical figure.
And tell folks about this is a special exhibit price, so in addition to regular museum admission, talk a little about that.
Right. This is a special exhibit, so if you want to see Diana, A Celebration, pricing starts at $21.50. So if you come see Diana, you can see everything else we have to offer, which of course is well over 1,000 years of world history, American history, and all of our historical performances as well.
Well, wasn't that just lovely?
It's quite delightful, actually.
All right, guys. We're going to keep this English accent going.
Oh, all right. We'll go back to normal. But doesn't it put you in the mood, the royal mood?
It really does.
I tell you guys, I don't know if you appreciated it as much as I did as a girl. I'm going to date myself a little bit, but I remember being a young girl, and I don't know if we took off from school or whatever, but we watched it all live. And to see that dress, in the flesh.
The train was huge.
Yeah,
long.
I just really enjoyed it. So from your perspective as younger.
Yeah, it was very interesting, and the coolest thing about the exhibit, which we all mentioned, was that about halfway through you feel like you're done, and you have a whole half of an exhibit left.
Right, they really did that well.
It was well done.
Yeah, and the photographs. I mean, you remember seeing some of these photographs and the clothing that she wore,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. So even from someone who does have a younger point of view, it was very interesting, and from a guy's point of view, seeing the wedding dress was very cool.
They had great photography that sort of showed her life. Remember some of her childhood things and the video when she was a child?
That was cool.
But the thing I really liked is her fashion. It showed how her fashion changed and she became an icon, and how people came to love her not only for who she is, but also for the beautiful clothes she wears.
I loved what Krista said about the clothes used to wear her, and then she became to wear the clothes. And you've got to remember some of those photographs as well, even being younger, right?
And especially how that impacts pop culture today. And you look at the First Lady, and obviously Kate and Will now. It's amazing what Princess Di started.
Yeah, what a legacy.
Really, well, you know, the great history of England actually comes to Louisville a little bit, because we're at Hillbilly Tea, and I know tea is a huge thing in England, but we're at Louisville, Kentucky.
That's right. We did a Kentucky style, and what a great new addition to Louisville this restaurant is. It's only a couple years old now, in the Arena District, right around the corner from the Arena on 1st Street. They're open for lunch and dinner and even brunch on Sundays. I had hot tea.
I had Horny Goat. That's right.
Yes, you did.
It was Horny Goat, and
these little precious boxes.
I will say, from someone who does not drink tea a lot, this was excellent. And I probably polished off at least 3 of these since we've been sitting here. So I really enjoyed it.
And I had a green tea called Twig, which had kind of a nutty flavor to it. And you know, the thing that I like so much about Hillbilly Tea, the restaurant, is that it's got its own unique flavors, not only in its teas, but in the food. So let's talk about that.
We had a lot today. We started with 2 appetizers. The Benedictine, which is a Kentucky tradition. It had shredded cucumber in it, made it a little different. And white bean and sage fritters with a garlic mayo that was really good, and a roasted cauliflower soup. We had a lot of veggies. We had their corn pone, their baked cauliflower, hominy, collard greens, of course, and sweet potato fries. And then we passed around family style a couple of dishes. We had this smoked chicken salad, we had the forest mushroom burger, a fried fish cake sandwich, and I think everyone's favorite, especially yours, because we ordered 2 of these, one for you, was the slow roasted pork shoulder with garlic mayo and a red cabbage chow chow. Chow chow is a really old-fashioned pickled vegetable, and that was great. It's their pork and pone. And some of the things we had today were seasonal offerings, but they said they could not ever take the pork and pone off the menu. People
no, they shouldn't.
Riot.
They can't.
And you know, the other thing is on the mushroom burger is he says we don't serve ketchup here, so it's kind of like a jam.
There's a tomato jam.
Tomato
jam.
It's really, really
It's
unique.
really savory and good. And then we saved just a little room for dessert, and I'm glad we did. We had 2. We had a flourless chocolate cake, and then I'm going to go on and call this right now. I just found the best bourbon bread pudding in the state of Kentucky. And then they brought a couple of tins out of what ended up being Mark's favorite, a green popcorn. It's kind of salty, sweet, like a kettle corn. It's really good.
Yeah, very unique.
So for more information about this episode, please go to gotolouisville.com or send us an email, podcast@gotolouisville.com. Of course, you can find us in Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So as always,
You are looking
at the Royal Louisville.
see you real soon. Three, two, stop.
This is going to be all chopped together.
I know, that's all in mind.